Hey, what's up, you guys? For some reason, I don't know why, the videos that where I'm talking about Ukraine are getting the biggest view count on my channel. Now, recently I read the news stating that Ukraine is planning to ceasefire with Russia and there would be a peace. I think it's very important for people like me who lived in Ukraine, who are Ukrainian citizen. I'm not a Ukrainian citizen, I'm not Ukrainian either, to come up with their own opinion on this case. Personally, I think that will happen, but not right now, and let me explain you why. So current situation is that both sides are at the halt. Russia is taking some parts, trying to gain advantage. They took a place called Bakhmut about 6 months ago, before this guy Prigozhin died, the Wagner head, trying to gain a momentum. If you don't know, they just declared that there will be an elections in Russia. Obviously they will re-elect Putin. However, the plans that Ukrainian had, it didn't really work, because the plan of Ukraine was to launch a fast counterattack to regain the momentum, take all the lands back. It didn't work, and Ukraine is really not in a good position right now. What happened, President Zelensky he toured different countries, and he had a meeting with President Biden recently. What happened, he promised everyone about 3 months ago, before the winter, they will launch a counter offensive and they will be able to get closer to victory, get back some land. It didn't happen because Russia was really good prepared, and Ukraine didn't had actually weapons they might needed to attack. They had weapons that can be very useful for defense, say they can hit like a close proximity. I think it will be really hard to win this war until the average Russian citizen will feel the pain. Ukraine has to have weapons that would hit inside of the Russia, and the Western countries are really scared to give these weapons, because that was one of the things that Putin declared before he even started the war. He declared that, hey, if you guys would pass weapons that will let Ukraine to hit the inside of the Russia, you will get an answer from us. And obviously them possessing nukes, it's not really comforting position for the Western world. They had that same plan from the start. Their plan was to launch an attack, get the Kiev, overthrow the government. And recently, actually, Putin, I believe it was yesterday, he had a meeting live doing with all the Russia. People text him, call him, and he was asked, hey, what's the plans regarding the ending the war? And he said, hey, nothing changed. We need to overthrow the government, because the current government, they are Nazi people. We don't like them. They're nationalists. But honestly, I mean, I don't think that Zelensky is a nationalist. He was speaking Russian before the war started. It doesn't make any sense. In Russia's plans, nothing changed, although there were reports from very credible sources stating that Russia has lost about 80% of their military power that they had pre-attack to Ukraine, which is crazy. So there are two options pretty much. Either Russia is bluffing, they are very ready to sign peace treaty, or it will pretty much end up with collapse of Russia, which I really personally have a hard time believing in, because KGB people, they are being taught to fight considering resources. Every person who knows KGB, at least how they operate, they know that KGB is not some fugazi organization. They just don't go act like they're gangsters or anything like that. They're very strict, very precise, and very highly trained intelligence organization. Now, since the war is going to be almost 2 years now, 1 year and 9 months, lots of things changed. First of all, Russia realized that it's not going to be like 2 + 2 to get Ukraine like that really fast. It's not going to work out. Second, Ukrainians realized that it's not going to be easy to take over the land, because they had really big momentum when the war just started. You know, Russia captured the main cities. They had a big momentum taking those cities back in 1 month or 2 months, even without the significant weapon supply from the West. They managed to take those back, but that was because those guys trained starting from 2014. They received constant trainings from NATO. They received paper books on how to defend, on how to act in the specific locations. There was a very interesting moment when the head of the Ukrainian army, General Zaluzhny, was asked, hey, why you guys were not able to gain the momentum and do the counterattack? He replied that the NATO books they were training with, they are not prepared to face the Russian army, because in normal war, the soldiers or generals, they try to save the soldier's life. Not in the case with Russia. The last thing that the Russian general will think about is a Russian soldiers' life. As far as I know, the losses of Russian party was close to 300,000. For the country that has a population of 1.2 million, I think 300,000 is crazy number. Putin declared that there will not be another round of the soldier mobilization. So Russia will have to fight with very limited resources. I was going to tell you guys about Zaluzhny, the head of the Ukrainian army. He said that the best book that helps in this war is the books that were written in the Soviet times, because those Soviet books were actually counting from how the Russian army will act in certain positions, which is a current situation that Ukraine needs to be training in right now. The other thing that changed was that both parties actually admitted that they want the peace to be signed. Now, Russia specifically mentioned that they're ready to sign the peace agreement, but the Ukrainian party was not interested. And Ukrainians mentioned that several times that they are open to negotiate. However, they want their lands back. Now, obviously, Russia lost so many people there. They're not going to just give away the land. That's not going to be possible. That would be possible before the war started if they would agree to pass from the Crimea and give the elections to Donbas region, which actually never happened. That's why Russia took over the other lands. The difference from the time that the war started until now is that when the war started, both sides were saying that, hey, we're not going to sign any kind of peace agreement. It's not possible, and etc. Both parties are saying that, hey, we're ready to sign whatever we can sign. Basically, we're ready to cooperate. So that's actually good news. In my opinion, looks like that the war will go on until the resources will come close to end on both parties. I don't think that Ukraine will have a hard time with weapons. Most possibly it's going to be the humanitarian resources, because they also had significant losses, especially in the battles like Bakhmut. That's why many NATO generals recommend Ukraine not to go to offensive, instead to build a very good defense around the cities and wait until the Russia's resources will end. On the other hand, Russians understand the situation and they're going to push as much as they can. Currently, they're bombing every city they can bomb, especially Odessa. Odessa is, I would say, it's third important city after Kiev and Kharkiv for Ukraine. Not only it's very big and very popular, historically popular city, it is also kind of a benchmark of the whole southern Ukraine because they have a port access. It's very diverse international city, very big Jewish community. I don't think that Putin would be able to get Odessa, although looks like that's a plan. Before elections, they want to get that part and then say, hey, we want Odessa, Putin is winner, we're winning in this war, so vote for him. However, I don't think it will work. Most probably both parties will keep losing unless Ukraine will listen to the West and will try to build a very good defensive situation. Another problem that Ukraine is facing, that Russia has the rockets that can struck in the middle of Ukraine out of nowhere, and Ukraine doesn't have those kind of rockets that they could use. They recently built their own drones, which is going to be a significant change because they started to bomb Russian cities, border cities with those bombs. However, Ukraine still doesn't have the weapons change the mind of average Russian. Could cause really big consequences. Unfortunately, I think this war still will go on after New Year's. It's not going to be a peace agreement, although we're really close to peace, getting close there. Hope that this war will stop because innocent people keep dying. Doesn't make any sense. Let's keep fingers crossed, guys.